Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I'm sorry I was not able to come on last night. I had a church function and I got home kind of late and I was pretty tired. So I decided to come on tonight instead. So I hope you're all having a good weekend. Hi, Judy. How are you tonight? I'm not sure if Jim is coming on or not. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. I think it depends on if he's in the mood and so on. So we'll see what happens with that. And I'm gonna just wait for a couple more of you guys to come on. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. There we go. All right. Um so I had something else planned to do last night, so that's why I did not jump on last night. Hi Jimmy, how are you? I'm glad to see you on as well. And so I'm going to step away for just a moment. I'm going to put on a quick song and I'll be right back. I have to do something. So give me 1 second.
On the stone.
The legend lives, never die. It's up to you
Sing the song.
to decide.
Say the word, and I'll come home. Check the spelling on the stone. Just check the spelling on my stone.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to catch my runny nose. It was running, so. All right, so I'm just going to check on everybody else. Hi, Sarah. How are you tonight? Hi, Francis. How are you tonight? It's good to see you too. All right. So there's a lot here in this chapter. It's going to be about um, um, her finding the book, the truth about buying the book, the truth about Elvis Aaron Presley in his own words. This is my copy, but Pepper has a copy of this book, so she's going to tell you about her experiences buying it and what her thoughts were on it, and so on. And she's going to cover and probably summarize some of the books. So we will kind of summarize it with her. And this is a long chapter, so we will break it up into a couple episodes. All right. Hi, Pamela. How are you? I'm doing all right. I'm doing better. I still have a kind of a stuffy, runny nose, but I guess it's all part of dealing with, fall weather and snowing out tonight. I don't know how much I'm getting, but yeah, first snow. Hi, Mary. How are you? Oh, thank you. Actually, it needs to be trimmed. My hair is getting long in the front, but yes, thank you very much. I've been keeping it short for the last couple months now, 4 or 5 months now. So I think it's a lot easier to take care of. All I do is comb it, and that's it. Hi, Nan. How are you tonight? Okay, so there's a lot here, so I'm going to start reading. I am just going to put this up real quick and reduce me down, and we will go over this slideshow. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing good, Mary. All right. So watch any of those episodes in the live stream tab here on YouTube. Um, is Elvis Alive is read in its entirety. Okay, on the channel here on YouTube. Okay. So the book arrived a few days later, and I was immediately disgruntled. I expected a nice sized book, but it was only 88 pages and measures 1/4 of an inch thick. She said she was totally disappointed. And before I even turned a page, I knew it was going to leave a lot to be desired. How on earth could the truth about Elvis be published in a mere 1/4 inch? And why on earth would this book look so tacky? Did I expect too much? I don't think so. I think any fan would expect a first class bound book if it was in Elvis's own words. It was clear this would be a quick read. I hoped it would be more interesting than it looked, so I began reading it. It's very interesting indeed. However, after reading it, I believe you would be disappointed as I am because I think that she felt the book wasn't long enough. Number one, I thought it wasn't long enough either. And number two, it it was missing some information. I think that he could have asked more questions, had more letters written. But anyway, I think the numerology was a big thing about it, and I'm sure we're gonna go over that eventually. So, so she goes, before I go any further, I want you to know that this book is written by Dr. Hinton with Elvis as Jesse, giving him the information for it. It was a gift, actually, a priceless gift. Elvis wanted the truth told, and he trusted Dr. Hinton to write it and publish it. He knew the doctor would make the great deal of money from the sales of the book, and that is what he wanted. It was his way of showing appreciation for the kindness the doctor had shown him, and Elvis wanted him to keep the cost as low as possible so it would be affordable to anyone. The price of the book was $12.95 in the United States and $5 in Canada. I located the book at a much higher price. Now, if we were to try to find the book on Amazon or eBay or other places, it could run between, I'm talking over $100. And I've seen some places that, you know, some places where it was almost $400 last summer. It was crazy. But anyway, I think it's because there was only X amount of um, excuse me, X amount of books produced. Okay, so anyway, so Dr. Hinton included several letters that Elvis wrote to him. And in almost every letter, he tells the doctor that he can ask him any questions he wants to. It makes it clear that he wants the truth of his life told after he had actually died. I don't know how they met or when, but Elvis apparently trusted him to finish the project and follow his instructions. So Elvis says in the introduction that he decided to tell the world the real story after hearing so many stories about his death. He also says many people have written about his death as a hoax, and it was not a hoax. He explains that he decided to reinvent himself in the form of his twin, Jesse Garrett, who died at birth, and therefore he says Elvis Presley did die that day, and of course he was speaking of August 16th, 1977. So I'm going to take a minute and I am going to pull out the book here, and I'm actually going to just kind of, I have a couple shorts and reels of me reading the introduction, but I figured I'll read the introduction. I don't think I have it here on the slides. Let me check. No, I do not. Okay. So the preface and the first letter is where I covered it. So I'm just going to wait and I'm just going to read the introduction real quick so you guys can get an idea. Now, the introduction was handwritten, and of course, Dr. Hinton typed it out. So he typed it out here. I'm going to reduce this down for a minute so people can see this. He typed it out, but then he gives you a copy of the letter handwritten. Okay. And also, I wanted to go on here and show you guys Linda's thing about the book here. She's talking about the perfect day, and she has a piece here of the letter that he wrote. And this is the rough draft. So it's a little bit messier than the uh, letter in the book. But this is the same letter right here. And of course, Linda had this handwriting. Um, it was, taken to a graphologist, and the graphologist compared it with handwriting of Elvis Presley, the known handwriting of Elvis Presley, and she said it's unmistakably his handwriting. So anyway, I thought I'd show that to you. That's on lindahoodsigmundtruth.com. Um, That is the name of the website. You guys can check that out anytime and read. The site is huge, so have fun with that. Okay, everything's pretty much copywritten as far as her original content. So I'm just going to come back up here and replace that. Okay, so I'm just going to read you the introduction. I have, like I said, reels of this, but I figured I would do this because, Pepper does kind of just summarize it, but she doesn't tell you everything that's in it. So, after hearing so many stories about the death of Elvis Presley, I have decided to tell the world the real story on the facts concerning that day in August 1977. Yes, that day, the 16th of August. Is it a coincidence that a person born on that day, January 8th, first month, 8th day, would perish on the 8th month and 16th day? Probably if two people were born on that day, it makes more sense. You see, numerology always played an important part of my life and still does today. So many people have written or spoke about my death as a hoax. It was not a hoax. I decided to reinvent myself in the form of my brother, Jesse Garin. Yes, Elvis Presley did die that day. He's talking about the image dying that day. But after much searching for the right people, I found several people from different states who I consider my most loyal and trustworthy friends. To some people, this book will just be another scandalous piece of fiction, but when you are done, I think you will think otherwise. I always felt my brother deserved to live, and what better way to let him live his life than to end mine? I was lonely, depressed, in bad health, and my numerology chart said that this was the time for it to come to an end. Anyone who studies numerology will understand. Those who don't may want to look into it. All the facts, and there are many. Even the experts will say they are more than coincidences. I no longer give away Cadillacs or expensive pieces of jewelry because I am nothing more than a man who had a very famous brother. I am not a great literate. I never wrote my own songs. But I am not illiterate either. The perfect day, August 16th, 1977. 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 equals 24. My age backwards at the time of his planned death, 42. The facts go on and on. But my true reasons for this book are from my fans. My death was not a hoax. To my fans, please forgive me. My brother deserved to live. He was with me constantly. And in parentheses, he wrote spiritually. My life would not be the same had he lived at birth. This was my way of giving him life, as corny as it sounds. The colonel took this secret to his grave. He was a loyal friend. And I will no longer stand by and have people like Gail Brewer Giorgio tell you stories that are pure fiction, and this book, written by a true friend, will help you realize why I did what I did. Now, there were some things that I guess Gail had put in her books that weren't correct or weren't real, or, maybe they were facts that were blown out of proportion. We don't know for sure. I know that she had mentioned on the Elvis files that he had liked her first book, Is Elvis Alive? And I think he liked the Elvis files, but he didn't like the idea that she taped his phone call in 1988. Okay, so I think he was pretty angry with her, and that's why he mentioned her name in the introduction. So I think I had posted something on Facebook. It was a comparison photo, with obviously, of Jesse Elvis here, just his face, with some other pictures of Jesse Elvis, or Elvis when he was younger. Obviously, similar smile, chin line, and so on. But there was somebody who kept saying, "Well, Jesse Garon is dead." Yes, the twin is actually dead. He died at birth. Elvis, um, and they had mentioned this on a couple videos. He has a twinless twin syndrome. So he kind of lived a double life, and he said it to Gail on a phone call where he said, "I had twice the fame, twice the fortune, twice the pain, twice the troubles, so on." So he did live a double life, and he also kind of lived a double life in a way, as a star, and then a police officer, and an FBI agent. So think about that, living a double life. So I'm going to say that he tried to have Jesse live through him, and in order for him to get rid of the image and start anew, he took on his brother's identity. He didn't use it at first. I think he used John Burroughs for a while, and maybe when that got tired, maybe he used many different names. I heard he used different names throughout um, the rest of the years. So anyway, let's go on here. It is easy for us, the common man, to think it would be great to live the life of Elvis Presley. He had everything he wanted. He had the money to buy anything he could possibly dream of, any way, anything that was for sale. However, it all came as a tremendous price that was beyond money. It seems strange that he would become depressed and lonely living in such a lifestyle, but he did. And it just like so many of us, this caused him to put on extra pounds and created health issues that required prescription drugs, some of which could have been caused him to gain the more weight. He didn't like his appearance any more than we do when we are overweight. However, he didn't hide away like many of us do. He was an entertainer, and he wanted to continue giving as much as to us as he could, and we couldn't possibly know how much he was hurting, but I am betting at times he thought it was more than he could bear. I learned that Elvis studies numerology, and he closely follows his chart. He says anyone who studies numerology will understand. Those who don't may want to look into it. Now, there are many, many books that I have read that have mentioned that Elvis studied numerology, had mentioned the Kairos Book of Numbers, Priscilla Presley's Elvis in Me, she mentions it, Jerry Schilling's book, Me and a Guy Named Elvis, he mentions it. I believe he mentions it as well in Larry Geller's book, If I Can Dream. And extensively, actually, he mentions numerology, and he even had copies. Let's see if I can find it here, of these kind of charts. I'm going to reduce this down so you guys can see it. He had copies of these charts made, and these are considered numerology charts. Okay, and this is in If I Can Dream. He had his chart up here, and then This one's Priscilla's chart, and this is his mother's chart here. So he did charts like that, and it looks very extensive and crazy, but yeah, and it even has his handwriting in these charts. And if you compare the numbers and some of the handwriting, it does match a lot of the Linda's letters and so on, and numbers. All right. Anyway, so I thought I'd show that to you. So this mentioned here, numerology is mentioned in this book as well. And then, of course, Gail Brewer Giorgio mentions numerology in all of her books, talking about numerology and how Elvis used it. She also mentions numerology in this book, Wanda June Hill, and she mentioned the Cairo's Book of Numbers. So the multiple books that have stated that he did use numerology, did study numerology. When he would meet people, he would do their numbers to make sure, I guess, they were compatible, trustworthy, whatever that he was looking for in their numbers. Okay. So she says, I know nothing about it and I hope to look into it when I have time. And I imagine it is one of those things I will have to pencil in and make time for, or I would never get it done. In any case, he says August 16th, 1977 was the perfect day. I have about 3 or 4 videos talking about numerology, you guys, if you ever want to look into that. It's on a little bit on the boring side, but it's quite interesting. I do have quite a few videos on that if you want to look at that too in the live videos. Okay. So he asks his fans to forgive him, and he says it sounds corny, but it was the only way to give Jesse life. And he said the colonel was a loyal friend and took his secret to his grave. Now I know that Linda had mentioned that Jesse Elvis did keep in touch with the colonel up to the day he passed. He actually called and told, I think it was the go-between or somebody, one of the friends connected with Linda, that the colonel was on his deathbed and told them he was going to die soon, and he did. So he did keep in touch with the colonel, and they were very friendly, even though the colonel did have, you know, basically took him to the cleaners with money and so on. Okay. So he was also considered the mastermind in the whole plan. All right. And I think I've covered that in another video here too. So you guys can check those out if you haven't checked those out yet on YouTube. Okay. So it goes to show us that we can speculate and speculates more, but we still don't know what it is in someone else's heart and mind. Elvis signed the introduction, sincerely, Jesse Presley. Now, I thought this was quite interesting. You know, there are pictures of Elvis Presley's um, signature and the way he writes Presley. The way he writes Presley, it does match the way Elvis writes Presley. I mean, if I put Presley, Elvis Presley down, this word, this Presley matches exactly it, and especially the Y and the P and everything. So thought that was quite interesting. I put them next to each other. All right. So I'm befuddled when he says, I will no longer stand by and have Gail Brewer tell you stories that are pure fiction. And I already mentioned that. He says his death was not a hoax. The definition of a hoax is to deceive, to trick into believing or accepting as genuine something false or often preposterous. Some synonyms of the word are deception, fraud, and fake. Well, hoax is another word for fake. So I think he might have I don't know, maybe he didn't like the word hoax, you know, we don't know. But anyway, I used the word fate sometimes in my story about him. It seemed to me it is the same as using the word hoax. So I'm surprised that Elvis would say that Gail was because of everything that I read of hers. She has not once put him down. However, she is a person who started the majority of people asking the question, is Elvis alive? But we should be grateful to her for spending so much time doing the research that was required to accomplish such a project. Now, I think there was one major discrepancy between the truth about Elvis Aaron Presley in his own words and Gail Brewer Giorgio's Is Elvis Alive? And that was the Vernon Presley theory. Did Vernon know? He says no in his book, this one, and he says it 4 or 5 times that Vernon did not know. And of course, eyewitness accounts and stuff like that in here, they think that Vernon did. So I think maybe that might have been something that's fictional or in not true in a way. So maybe that's why. We don't know. But anyway, I know that he was very upset with her about taping his phone call. So according to Gail, there were no books written about Elvis before hers. So with her books and some reported sightings of Elvis, it started a whirlwind investigation. And it has continued through the years, so that had to give Elvis much stress. And for this, I'm sorry, truly sorry, that we caused him to say on August 2nd, 1998, and I thought I would have had a normal life. Right. So he thought he could have a normal life. And he opens his book like that. And I thought I could have a normal life. Okay. So Elvis was 63 years of age when he writes a letter dated April 20th, 1998. And he would be honored for the doctor to write his memoirs so that after his passing, his fans would know why he did what he did. He said he wants his fans to know that he probably would not have lived if he continued the way he had been living. He says the colonel had a plan, and some people who were close to him were sure they could pull it off. He was going into bad debt and his health was deteriorating. It's true, the plan made Elvis's estate very wealthy. However, Elvis could not have known what would happen, nor did he know so many people truly loved him and his talent. It is amazing that the numbers grow each year at Graceland. It seems a bit humorous to me that he isn't allowed any cash because they think of his with his proliferate ways. He could make people curious. He's given everything he needs, but he has no access to cash. And he says that everything used to go to him at an address that he does not share, but people were stealing from him and reading his mail and even taking his medication. So no wonder he has a difficult time trusting anyone. And he tells the doctor that he will continue to tell them about his life since 1977 so he can document it and he will provide information that only Elvis would know and why he is now Jesse. And he signs this letter sincerely, Jesse, with Elvis in parentheses. Well, that basically covers the first letter, the preface, or whatever. But he also in the book he is given this Cadillac emblem from Charlie Hodge. Charlie Hodge was one of his co-singers or backup singers and on the Memphis Mafia. Okay. So he gave him that Cadillac emblem. So the forward, Dr. Hinton says Elvis had not passed away yet. that he was 66 years of age, and at the time he says it had been 24 years since Elvis ended his life ended and Jesse's began. If that was the case, it was 1977 when he began using the name Jesse. Perhaps Dr. Hinton thought he began using it then, but he didn't tell me his name was Jesse. So she's comparing her real life experience when she met him at the Safeway store, where he used John Burroughs as a name, and obviously Jesse was probably his private name. I know I had read on LindaHoodSigmansTruth.com that when Jesse Elvis was provoked into doing Elvis Found Alive mockumentary for The Voice, they agreed that he did not want them using his identity as Jesse. So they agreed to use John Burroughs instead, his alias. They weren't allowed to use his image at all either. So there is many things that are very consistent with the story in Linda's account of that versus the book account here, where every time he is recognized, he is moved to a new location. All right. So the doctor in chapter 1 discusses his journey and how he first met Linda Hood Sigmund and how Linda Hood Sigmund had led her to Jesse Elvis. I mean, she had led him to Jesse Elvis. And in the book, her alias name was Shuma, and Tom was Sloan in the book. And of course, we can find that information here on LindaHoodSigmansTruth.com, which, I already showed you a little picture of the video of the letter from her website. All right. So she, in the forward, Dr. Hinton says that Elvis has not passed away yet, that he was 66 years of age, that he said he's been, I already read this part, sorry, Jesse since then. The Dr. Hinton says that he's been living in two different realities for several years. In one, he shares with most people Elvis is dead, despite the many rumors. In the other, he lived in secret as that Elvis is alive. I can identify with the stress this puts on him. But he was faithful to Elvis, and he treated Elvis's chronic pain for 4 years. Okay. So it was June 30th, 1977, when the doctor learned Elvis was alive. He received a phone call from his friend who felt it in her heart that doctor could be trusted with the truth. And that was Linda Hood Sigmund, and she had mentioned that in her website. So you can find that information there, how she met and so on. And they had known each other for 10 years and had developed a friendship. And this was when he learned Elvis was living as Jesse. This friend was referred to as Shuma, was Linda Hood Sigmund. And she told him she began communicating with Elvis in 1991. And before then, she was doing the newsletter about Elvis. And the doctor was just beginning his medical practice after finishing his residency a year earlier. So they talked about in the one of the chapters here about his chronic pain. So I'm just going to just kind of cover chapter 1 just a little bit because she does summarize. It's not verbatim. So the evidence is that Elvis was alive. The doctor states that he did not believe he died. He heard Elvis tape on the radio. He saw the pool house photograph, which I have a video about that. The photo with Muhammad Ali. Jesse Elvis had mentioned in the documentary that that was him in the photo. Other stories have said that it was the Muhammad Ali's manager. It's up to you guys to decide that, but that was in the book here, so I thought I'd let you know. That he heard songs by Orion that sounded just like Elvis Presley on the radio, that his name was misspelled on the stone, and then met Linda through new letter of questioning um, Elvis's death. Newsletters, excuse me. Okay. So, chapter 2 and 3, he describes his phone call with Linda. She discusses with him that Elvis needs medical help for chronic pain condition. Now, on Linda's site, she does have an extensive article about his health problems. Basically, at um, the end of his life in this book, he complains to not Dr. Hinton, excuse me, wrong person, Larry Geller, that his colon was killing him and he had to take a variety of medications. One or two of them were steroids that made him bloat, made him gain weight, many different things. It also mentioned in here, he was telling her, and Wanda June Hill, that his colon was killing him. And he was having a hard time because the lifestyle of Elvis Presley was killing him as well. And he needed surgery, really bad surgery, for his colon. And so both of those books mentioned that he was sick with a colon problem, and he had it taken care of. And on Linda's site, you will see that information there. I'm not quite sure exactly where you find it, but anyway, I think I might have a if you look under August 2015, you might see the article about his colon issue. Wanda June Hill also said that there was a special code that he gave her, a special code word, and the code word was "I have the bag," or the code words "I have the bag," which he did not get until after he staged his death. So there was many health issues that Jesse Elvis went through before and after. And I do have a whole video on that, updated health issues and so on. Okay. So we will pick up with the rest of this about his chronic pain next week. Or this coming Saturday. I don't think I have anything planned. So I will be regularly on Saturday this coming weekend, instead of Sunday night. Okay. So now I'm going to open the floor for some chats. I'm going to reduce this down here, and I'm going to open the floor for some chats and everything. So let's see. Where did I leave off? Let's see. Okay. I think I don't know. I'll just pick up here. Okay, so Sarah asks, they've been having a lot of Elvis returning. What's going on? I'm not sure. A lot of people have been saying that Elvis would be returning, but I think Elvis, from what I understand, he had a stroke at the beginning of the year, and he's been dealing with the effects from that. I think speech and language issues that he's dealing with. So I don't know if he'll ever come. No sound and the screen is frozen. You guys are hearing me now, right? I hope. I don't know what happened there. I might have just shut it off for a minute to get a tissue or something. But anyway. Hi, hi. Hi, Jermaine. How are you? Oh, okay. It's okay. Okay, good. Diana said, I'm still confused why it says Vernon didn't know in the book, but I think he did because he knew Elvis took all of his personal stuff and his name on the grave. I honestly do not know. I'm just gonna go with what Jesse Elvis has said in the book over and over again. As stressed it to Linda as well. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but as far as Jesse told us that Vernon didn't know. And he died 6 months too early to tell him, because I guess they did numerology and they were going to tell him after 3 years. You paid $109 for your book. You got a good deal. I paid like $132, I think it was, like a couple years ago on Amazon. And I had a couple pages missing in mine, so I had to have someone photocopy the pages so I could have them. But yeah. Hi, Rhonda. How are you tonight? All right, let's see. I do not know. We do not have a recent update from Linda. From what I understand, from what I heard from my other contact, is that he is okay. Still deals with all the after effects of the stroke. I mean, as far as speech and language is concerned, but he's okay. That's all I know. Hi, Barbara. How are you? I feel like Linda truly loved him for him and not his money, but he must not deeply loved her. Oh, you mean Linda? Oh, okay. You mean Linda Thompson? Yeah. I know he mentions it in his book that he picked a naive person in Ginger Alden. And I think it's because I really honestly think Linda Thompson obviously knew he was cheating on her, obviously, so she broke up with him. But also the fact is that she was very observant, where Ginger wasn't as observant. So he could get away with staging his death with Ginger around versus Linda Thompson. How is Linda doing? Linda Hood Sigmund is, I guess, okay. I don't know anything else more she has posted on her website. I think about SK, and he shared a video with her and that was her last post. I know that she deals with fibromyalgia pain and arthritis and things, so you could keep her in your prayers because she hasn't been posting a whole lot due to her pain in her hands. He wished they would reprint the doctor's book. Well, I think he also picked like a independent label and they no longer are open. I think the doctor doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. There was a lot that went on. I know that if you had watched the news about what happened after the book was written, that you would realize that, hey, I could see why he would not want it reprinted. Yeah, but people don't know is Elvis did not want the colonel manager. No one else. That's why he let him get half. Right. And I think I think even Elvis tried to fire him. What did the colonel do? He gave him a huge, gigantic bill that he couldn't pay, you know, at the time. But I also think that it might have been a front, um, because he knew that there was something that he had this all planned out. I mean, he had even mentioned, I'm going to pull it up here in this book, if I can find it. He told Larry Geller in If I Can Dream. This was the date was let me see if I can find it now. May 20th, 1977. He said that I'm going to get rid of the old colonel. I need a change, new blood. I've always been loyal to the colonel and I appreciate what he's done, but nothing can last forever. The times are changing and I don't think the colonel is up to date with what's going on like Tom Hewlett is. I've had it with him. Okay. And then he goes on and says, I also want a different lifestyle. I don't want the Memphis Mafia anymore, he said disdainfully. I don't need that scene anymore. I've had it with all the little jealousies and infighting. I know who my real friends are. I want to live a different kind of life. One has gone on long enough. After the next tour or the one after that, I'm not sure yet, but by the end of summer, it will happen. A drastic cut. Daddy's been on me for a long time about it. This will make him very happy. He feels too many people have taken advantage of me for too long. Elvis then listed the guys who'd be fired, asked Charlie and me to promise not to say a word. Then he finished with his eyes open in a mock astonishment, as if to say, "Isn't this a surprise? But I think the hint is I want a different lifestyle." He says by the end of summer, there's going to be a drastic cut. Something's going to happen. Doesn't want the Memphis Mafia anymore. Okay, so how much more of a hint can you get? What I'm saying is, I think that he had a plan and he just put it in motion and he was just telling people, I want to get rid of the colonel. He knew what was going to happen in August, and the colonel is a mastermind. So, how is he going to get rid of the colonel and his Memphis Mafia? He's going to get a new life. All right, anyway. But that was from If I Can Dream by Larry Geller. Oh, Colonel was a Dutchman without a passport. Right. And the thing about the Colonel is that he got involved, I think something to do with I think what do you call it there? Gabriel Giorgio had mentioned this, but in the Colonel's past, he got involved with I don't remember exactly if it was a murder of his wife over there, but she ended up dead. He ended up jumping, getting on a ship and went to the United States and made a whole brand new identity. So basically, kind of faked his death over there and started a new life over here in the United States. So he already knew how to fake his death, obviously. So anyway. Hi, Michelle. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well. I hope your foot's okay. I know you mentioned something in my other channel about that. I've been praying for you. I put you in my prayer request list on the church as well for healing. All right, anyway. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Okay, great. I'm glad you can hear me. Right. Mitchell, that's right. I can't remember what to call you. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're doing good. As far as I know, he's okay. There's no new update from Linda. I don't think he's called her in a while. I don't think Vernon knew. Donna Presley said that Vernon thought that there was foul play and had a second autopsy done. I'm not quite sure on that second autopsy. Like I said, I know that the autopsy is sealed. I also know that the DNA did not match when they did the DNA tests for the television. So Vernon, he could have thought it maybe was foul play. We don't know exactly. But I don't think Vernon knew. He was distraught. I mean, I think there was 3 or 4 people that said he was screaming, crying his eyes out, um, from sorrow of losing Elvis. Yeah, yeah, okay, Linda. I thought that's what you were talking about. Oh, you're welcome, Rhonda. I don't think he'll ever come out because the grandkids are taking by EPE. Right. I don't think he'll ever come out. I also think there is a lot of protecting going on from his grandchildren. Um, you know, I think he would never come out anyway. I don't think he's well enough. I don't think he wants people to see him. He is living a life out of the limelight. He's enjoying his private life, and he said in many areas, I would not want to go back to um back to that lifestyle. He said it. I also think he was also probably threatened not to come out. I think he was planning to come out in 1981, but they threatened him not to come out. Could have been many reasons why. We don't know exactly. But anyway, excuse me, they were enjoying their money too much. Hi, Bren, how are you? Wouldn't the Colonel be a millionaire if Elvis was a millionaire since he got 50? Yeah, the Colonel was very, very rich. He was rich off Elvis, but the problem with Colonel was that he was a avid gambler and lost a lot of money. Millions of dollars. He gambled it away. So, but he made a lot of money off Elvis. Marty said that he was going to get rid of Joe also, and even said Joe was gone for months. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is Joe Esposito was in on the plans. I don't think he got rid of Joe. I think Joe was there. Charlie was there. And there was a couple other people still around. I know Marty Lacker. I'm not sure about Lamar Fike. I don't know about them. But anyway. Yes, it's cold. It was snowing earlier, Sandy, if that helps. We had a snow squall. But yes, it's pretty cold. I really appreciate that. I'm not doing well, unfortunately. I have a rare disease in my feet. Yes, Michelle, heal you. Jesus is the healer, and we firmly believe that He will heal you in Jesus' name, and also heal your relationships with your daughter. We'll have to seek Him out and ask Him for wisdom from the Bible on how to do it, and just ask Him to draw her to a state of either forgiveness or there'll be something that will happen that will bring you guys back together. We're hoping. So I'm gonna keep you in prayer. It's on the oh, Jim's here. I'm gonna put Jim on now. It is underneath the comments on one of my videos on my other channel. Hi Jim, how are you tonight?
All right.
Good. All right. I'm just going over some I did some of these discussion things. Oh, someone had mentioned this and I wanted to know if you had any insight on it. But Mitchell had mentioned that Marty Lacker had said that Elvis was going to get rid of Joe Esposito, and he even said that Joe was gone for months. Do you know anything about that? I think we were talking about
That's
uh, J- um, when he told Larry that they were going to fire a bunch of people.
he didn't
What?
even fire Joe. Joe worked for him from up to the time Joe
And
got sick
beyond.
and died.
Yeah. I think Joe Esposito was a true friend to Elvis
Yeah,
and
he was with him. He was with
stuck
him to
by
the
him.
end.
Yeah. So I don't know what people he probably fired at the time, but he was talking
Yeah,
about firing a bunch of people in the Memphis Mafia.
yeah,
But I believe he said in his book that Joe was in on the plan. So
yep.
um I don't think that he would have gotten fired. He also mentioned in the book that the colonel that he was looking to fire the colonel, but we know that that
Yep.
didn't happen either because the colonel had a plan, and he was friends with the colonel up to the day he died, too. So, all right,
Well, he did fire the colonel back in the early '70s. Colonel handed him a $8 million uh, bill. Said he owed
yeah.
him $8 million.
Okay, so Nan, I don't know if you've seen Donna Presley's channel. I haven't had a chance to look at it really that much, but some of the things Donna Presley talks about are different from what's in the books. I'm gonna say that Donna Presley is an EPE employee. I mean, she does a lot for EPE. So I'm going to say that she's probably spreading a narrative um, so they can continue frauding their fans.
I know.
Continue spreading a
I,
narrative.
I know she's exposing the gold digging whore Prissy. I
I
do
know
know
that
that.
I know that she has exposed Priscilla, but I also know that she had mentioned something um that she said one of her videos she said Vernon thought that Elvis was murdered.
I
Uh
don't believe that.
I guess this one here she's saying that she talks about different stuff that's not covered in books. So, but like I said, Donna Presley is even though we had her DNA tested against Jesse's and he matched her DNA was from the paternal side of the family, the way the DNA was taken was probably not in her knowledge from a cigarette. So, yeah.
Nope.
So she didn't know about it. So even if someone asks her, she's gonna say, I have no idea what you're talking
Nope.
about. Okay. Yeah, and the
Yeah,
colonel even made more money afterwards.
she's
Yes,
gonna stick with the narrative that he's dead.
right. She's going to stick with that narrative. And if she even knows if he is alive, she's got an NDA signed. She ain't going to tell anybody. And he gambled all the money away. Exactly.
Yep.
So he made millions of dollars off Elvis and he gambled it because he had a gambling habit. Yes. Exactly. The colonel traded Elvis's performing in Vegas to pay off his gambling debts. He also sold the rights to his music to pay off his gambling debts. So that's why he
Well,
says in the book
he
that he was
he
broke almost.
he
What?
he sold he sold a lot of his rights to Paul Castellano, the uh mafia kingpin up there in New York.
Right. Do you think Linda Thompson and Ginger Eldon know he is alive? Um, I'm not sure. I think Linda Thompson might because I know she was in RoboCop in as an extra in a movie that it's mentioned in Linda's a site under the Orion Pictures, and so it's a possibility that she might know he's alive. But like I said, most people are signed NDAs and will not tell you. And Ginger Eldon, I'm not sure. I heard someone say that she knew, and some people think that she didn't know. She doesn't say in her book that he is, but she said something like on the idea that she kept dreaming that he was or something, or he visit her after, like in it as a ghost or type of thing. So we really
Yeah.
don't we really don't know. And plus, I said most of these people would probably have NDAs signed and aren't allowed to say anything. I wish Jesse would make a video to be played after his death. Let everybody know how this is all going to happen and why he had stayed hidden. As far as I know, he has an 8-minute DVD that's supposed to be released after his death, explaining everything. I'm not sure if it'll ever be let out, but as far as I know, according to Linda, he told Linda he has an 8-minute DVD. So he does have a
Oh,
video.
it'll get out. It'll get out.
Right.
It
And at,
it'll
at
get
the
out.
time,
Problem they're gonna have with it is ain't nobody gonna believe it.
right. Because I think the hardest thing you're going to have is that, oh, well, he's dead. How are we going to know this guy is really him or not? You know what I mean? We can tell probably by his voice, but it was done a while ago, like a good, say, almost 20 years ago, maybe.
I think when the DVD comes out, I think he's got that covered.
Right.
I think he's had DNA done. Stuff's gonna go out with it because he sent it to several family members and close friends, and they're supposed to turn it over to the media once he's gone.
Right. Okay. Diana, you're right. 8-minute CD. Right. DVD. Yeah. Snow, it was yeah, I had snow when I took the dog out earlier. I don't know if I think it was just flurries, but yeah, I had some snow up here today. It was freezing today. Well, it's almost winter time up here in New Hampshire, so it's not impossible. I think Vermont was supposed to get more. On the northern, the mountains and everything was supposed to get more. Mary says hello, Jim.
Hey,
Welcome back, Jim. Bren says hello. Michelle, thank you for your kind words and prayers. I've been asking Jesus for healing and for my daughter to return back to my life. Sending you all love and hugs, joy. Oh, you're welcome. I did put you on the prayer request list at church too, so we have a bunch of people praying for you, Michelle. And Jim, I don't know if you can contact Michelle or not, but I don't know if they have that stuff in Australia. She's out in Australia, but she's got a rare foot disease. I don't know if that stuff that you told me about cancer treatment would work on a foot disease. But
uh,
anyway,
depends on what kind of foot disease you got.
well, she says it's a rare foot. She didn't say what much, just a rare foot disease.
It, it's good for skin disorders. I do know that.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that he had told the colonel something that he didn't want him to know, so he left him California for 9 months and then he let him come back. Oh, I don't know. Really, I don't know anything, Mitchell. Rhonda says hello, Jim.
Hey,
I know Charlie got robbed as a cashier at a store and then went to work for Eddie Miles. Oh, well, that's interesting. Huh. We're talking about Charlie Hodge. All right. Well, if he could have sold Elvis, he probably would do so. Not trustworthy. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. All right. Anyway,
Which one of them was it Elvis's boys that was giving Linda all the bullshit, and Elvis told her to tell him something, and finally shut him up.
I think it was Marty Lacker. I think.
Yeah, Marty Lacker, that was it.
I think. I don't think it was Lamar Flake.
No, it was Marty Lacker. I remember now.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I feel like those that have been kind to him are the ones that know he's alive. But if they said anything negative, he would find out. Yes, I think there are some he has some close knit friends, very trustworthy people that keep it quiet, keep him safe, and if they say anything anywhere he is or whatever, obviously he's going to cut ties with them, you
Yeah.
know. But everybody is under NDA. All his doctors, nurses, whoever works with him has NDAs. And Gambino's one of them dead, and they almost got him in London. Wow. Right. That is years ago. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the threat was real for him all the way through the years because I think he worked for the FBI for years. And he had to like work behind the scenes, like in the offices of the FBI toward the end because he kept getting
Got news for you.
recognized.
I got
Huh?
news for you. I got news for you.
What?
Even at his age now, he's still in danger. The mob don't forgive and forget. It wouldn't matter if they caught him right today; they'd still kill him.
Right. So I think that the reason why that he's the where he is today is because first of all, he's still kind of hiding in plain sight. He does have security around his home. He has to go on security phones. He can't call a regular phone, um, and all that kind of thing. So yeah. So obviously, from what I understand, one of my friends was telling me, one of his friends was telling me when she talked to me was that when she talked to him on the phone, you could hear someone call, introduce himself, ask her if she had any recording devices, all that kind of stuff, kind of like pre-screened her, and then it went through clicking, and then you could hear the it would click from one um phone operator to the next phone operator to the next phone operator until they got to him. So there was a long wait to get a hold of him because he's on one of those security phones. Okay, anyway. Who knows? People will think with AI instead. Right. Well, I think the thing is with the DVD is it's actually videoed with a real camera. I'm assuming he shows his face, and whatever other things to prove it's him. I don't think Ginger knows because her mom had a lawsuit with Elvis's estate for her mortgage. Right. And I don't really honestly do not know. I mean, we don't know who shows up in courts, but I know that, you know, yeah, I know he stays pretty out of the limelight, behind the scenes and everything. All right. Anyway. I hope he does a book. I think he was originally going to write a book, Jim, from what I understand. But I don't think he could find anyone to finish writing it. So he had obviously Dr. Hinton write this book, and I think it was supposed to be bigger and longer, but for some reason
That
there was a
that
rush.
that that book right there wasn't supposed to have been released till after he was gone, but Hinton
Right.
kept on till they agreed to release it.
Right, and I don't think it was totally completely done because it doesn't actually answer everything. It doesn't
Found
reveal
two.
everything.
I found two of them books yesterday on eBay for $105 a piece.
Yeah. She said she says her disease is called erythromelalgia. I can't even say it. Can you see that, Jim, on there? The name of the
Uh,
her condition.
I
I
see it, but I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we
Is
were
it ask her if it's some kind of like infection on the skin or something? If it's like that, yeah, she can take that ivermectin, take the
yeah.
paste. She can take it by mouth, or she can, or take it both ways. Take it by mouth, then take some and rub it on the if
Is
it's
it
like
avail-
on the skin.
I think the challenge is it available in Australia? Because I think she's
Well,
in Australia.
yeah, you can buy ivermectin anywhere in the world. It ain't nothing but a horse dewormer.
Right. And it supposedly works on like certain viruses, infections, and everything. Yeast,
Yep. It
all kinds
it'll
of
it
infections.
it'll knock COVID right out.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to put that in the comments down there. The name of that
Hang on, I'll type it
medication.
in.
Michelle, there's a certain medication that Jim swears works great on cancer and all kinds of other kinds of infections, including COVID. You could try that. I know you can get it in a pill form. It's a vitamin form. It might have to have a prescription. I'm not sure on that, but there's also it's a horse dewormer, so
Yeah,
you can get it online. And you can get it on Amazon. I know that, and it comes in a paste, and it comes in
you
a
can buy it
vial.
in liquid too. You can buy it in liquid too. But that
And
right there,
they also have it in pill form now, Jim, too. Like
yeah. But
uh
that ivermectin 187%. That's the horse paste. The horse dewormer.
yeah. I don't know. It might work on who knows, gout. Who knows? Anything that
Uh,
would probably
I know.
irritate skin or whatever.
I know it's good for diabetes and all kinds of stuff. It helps people with dementia and Alzheimer's and everything.
Yeah. So we'll see what I mean. Like we said, we're not doctors here, but I mean, there's always the option. I know I looked into a pill form online. I haven't got it yet. I ordered it. Um Hopefully it comes in as like a supplement type of thing. But supposedly we're supposed to be that stuff. So we'll see what happens. I haven't got it yet, so I don't know. I was gonna use it for my stomach and see if it will work, just in case I have a lot of intestinal problems. So but anyway, yes, Michelle, prayer, we're gonna pray you get healing and then also check out that other stuff and see if that helps. I don't know. Did y'all notice how they had Howard Hughes in the Agent Elvis? Really? Yes. Howard Hughes was a good friend of Elvis's. I think he's
Yeah,
mentioned in
and he
Larry
mentions
Hill.
him in Elvis Found Alive too. He told the whole world Howard Hughes didn't die when they claimed he did. He faked his death too.
Yeah.
He was a big help to Elvis.
Yeah, he mentioned it. He mentioned Howard Hughes in his book, and he also mentioned a couple other people. So yes, the mob didn't lift the hit, and it was a $10 million hit, and it's still there. Right. There is a $10 million reward for him. So you could see why he would still be hidden in plain sight, and he's so old. He would never be on video with his face on video online
Oh,
singing or pastoring or anything like that. He would not be doing that.
I don't know
That
where
is
you're
too
at,
old anyway.
Mitchell. I don't know where you're at, but they ain't stopped selling it in the feed stores here. They sell it everywhere.
Yeah. And Sandy says there is a medication that can control that disease as well. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, anyway. Do or do Elvis Presley's stepbrothers know? Don't know. If they do, they're gonna not tell us or say anything. as far as I know, according to the 1988 interview with Gabriel Giorgio on the phone, he said that they do not know, but we don't know if they found out yet.
That must be something South Carolina's doing, 'cause over here where I'm at, Missouri, Arkansas, all over here, you can buy it in any feed store or Tractor
Right,
Supply or any place like that. And
right,
then you can buy it, you can get it without a prescription. You don't have to have a prescription. It's under
right,
federal law. There's no prescription for it.
right. Well, I'm not sure if the laws are different in Australia, but anyway, Jim has sent you a ivermectin. You could try it. I don't know if it'll work or not. It says it works great on COVID-19 and some other viruses and cancer as well. They use it as an alternative cancer treatment.
Hey,
Um,
a lot of doctors are used it for cancer now.
yeah,
But cancer is not a disease. Cancer is nothing but a parasite.
yep. That's how I got rid of COVID-19 was with that. Okay, cool. Thank you. Ivermectin. You're right. Jim mentioned in the past video that no one was buried at Graceland. Does that include Lisa Marie or Ben? Or does anyone know where they are? No dates, birth, death, or
Don't
either
know.
on their
I
crypts?
don't. I don't know where they're at, but I know they're not there.
From what I understand, it's probably a private cemetery somewhere, and no one knows. But also, she was buried before that Sunday service or whatever service date that service was. She was buried already in the private cemetery. That's probably why there were no phones allowed. Um, they don't want anyone knowing. but but no one knows where they're buried.
Again,
That,
her
that
pri-
as far as
her
I know, they're
and
just
her
memorial stones at Graceland.
the private funeral, there wasn't nobody there except for family and close friends.
Right. Immediate family. Right. Okay. Well, like I said, we can't guarantee, but you can look into it and see what happens.
Now the paste is
If
just as
they
good as
stop
the
selling
liquid.
it in feed stores. Yeah, you can get it online on Amazon. They have like 4 or 5 different ways you can get it on Amazon. That I know you can get it on Amazon. And online there's some supplements that have it, ivermectin as well. They use in the like what they call anti like parasite medicine, for
I will
um
say this:
treating parasites.
don't order it from Walmart, because the chances of you getting a fake product is
Right.
pretty sure. I ordered some from Walmart, and it wasn't real stuff. It was garbage.
Right. Might have to get it like I don't know, Tractor Supply Company has it, but well, I know Amazon has it. You have to make sure you get it right.
Yeah,
But
Tractor Supply carries it.
yeah. Is ivermectin? I think Jim's got it written in the comments down here if you want to
Yeah,
check it out. Um, see if it will work or whatever. You could try. I know the
ivermectin.
FDA approved here for human use, so they use it to treat COVID and everything. So it might work on viruses and other types of infections. If it's working on cancer, anything that eats at your skin and whatever gives you a lot of pain, you try it out and see what happens.
That's one of the best cancer cures there is.
Yeah.
It's one of the only cancer treatments that'll even touch pancreatic cancer.
And I guess they said that I firmly believe they also said that um it's a lot safer than getting chemo for cancer. That's for sure. Anyway,
Chemo and radiation ain't nothing but poison.
yeah. The biggest
If they
clue.
if they giving you chemo and radiation, they don't want to cure you. All they want's your money. When they get you all your money and they fleeced you out of all your money, then they're gonna let you die.
Yes, that is one of the biggest clues. The other one, obviously, is the spelling of the name on his stone is another clue. The other big clue is that he filled out his own death report. Those are all clues, and life insurance was never cashed in. A bunch of books and a bunch of pictures were, and a bunch of jewelry, were taken out of the inventory at Graceland after 1977, missing in action. Never came back. Yeah. So there's a lot of clues, including sites and people experiencing him in stores and places like that, in the cars. And Michelle says, "Thank you kindly, Jim. Hugs to you." But we definitely will continue to pray for you, Michelle, for that and for your daughter in your relationship. I think Billy Stanley is under the do not disclose. Probably. Yes, a horse pace you can get, but not a pure bottles. Yes, I may have. Huh. I will look into it for sure. Big hugs to both of you. Good. Yeah, I know. But like I said, you can always get it on Amazon. I know that, and you can get it online through other companies. Did you ever notice that the stones of the meditation are super flat and exactly the same height? Yeah, probably. I think the only ones that aren't are Lisa Marie and Benjamin's. Those are raised up, but the other ones are flat. Okay, good. It works. I used it for 40 years and they won't let us get the fish amoxicillin or penicillin no more. Right. Huh. Thank you, Mitchell. Yeah. Jim's Facebook, I said I'm not Mitchell Matthews, but they says I'm Tony. Yeah, Mitchell, I'm going to tell you something. You can change your name on your profile through Facebook. You have to go on and change your name. They allow you to do it like I think they allow you to do it every 6 months or once a year. So you might want to see if they have that option now that you've been open for a while to change your name, and you can change it back to what you want. In DC, Canada Health sees ivermectin from someone trying to sell it. Wow. Yeah. Well, we can get it on you. We get it here in the US. You can get it online on Amazon. I know that. I'm not sure if you can get it on Amazon in Canada. Like I said, it might be different in uh, uh different areas of the world. So, but Jim was telling me about that the other day. So I said, well, we might as well recommend it and see if it might work or not. But we will continue to
Uh,
pray because Jesus is the healer. So,
Mitchell talk. Mitchell's talking about they stopped selling uh, penicillin and that kind of stuff, antibiotics. That's bullcrap. 'Cause you can order them offline. Ain't no big deal. I can order them right now.
I don't know. Like I said, my husband has a hard time getting antibiotics at any doctor's office anymore. They won't allow him to. They recommend not to get them because I guess they don't work or whatever. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, so we'll keep you in prayer, Michelle. And so it looks like we don't have that many more comments. So we're gonna get off because I've been on for an hour and a half now. And so if you guys like this and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And we will talk to you another day on Saturday. I'll keep you all updated and I'll try it. Thank you. Wow, that is weird. Like I said, Mitchell, you can get it online. I know you can buy it um on Amazon. I know that for sure. And they can get it in the human dosage too. They have it like in the pills, things like that. All right, so I'm going to finish with a little Reconsider Baby by Civil Nora, and you guys have a great night. God bless you all, and I'll see you Saturday next week. Bye.
Well, so long. Oh, how I hate to see you go. Well, so long, baby. Oh, how I hate to see you go. Well, the way that I will miss you, child, I guess you'll never know. You said you once said love me, but now I guess you've changed your mind. You said you once said love me, yeah, but now I guess you've changed your mind. I'm gonna let you go ahead on home now, baby. Pray that you come back home sometime. We've been together so long.